Hello guys, welcome back to another video of mine. Long time no see. I feel I'm always saying this, but I'm so sorry for having gone so long without making a video. Just college and work. It's all the same reasons as before. Just have a lot on my plate at the minute in terms of, academia and work commitments, so I just haven't had time to make any YouTube content, but I promise you, from today there will be regular content, Chelsea content, some other content as well. So hopefully you can forgive me for that, and we can get cracking with this season and reviewing and previewing every game from now until the end of the season. Now, this video is talking about our game in about just under 3 hours. We're playing Aston Villa at home in the Premier League. 7:30 kickoff. Obviously, as I said, it's at home. It's at Stamford Bridge. And if you come to me, if this game was about 3 weeks to a month ago, I would have said this is not as important a game as it is now, because our form has kind of taken a turn for the worse over the past couple of weeks. We have only won one of our last 5 games. I think we've lost our last 2 Premier League games in a row, and we haven't won our last 3. We lost away at Manchester City about 10 days ago, which there's no shame in losing at the Etihad, but still the way in which we lost was a bit disappointing considering we were 1-0 up. And then during the week we were in front against Valencia in the Champions League, and we threw that away and only ended up drawing. And then at the weekend we very, very disappointingly lost at home to West Ham, which I still am very disappointed with, and a little bit, still my head hasn't really wrapped around the fact that we played that poorly. But we have to move on, and we have to focus and look ahead of the game tonight. Now, as I said, we're playing Aston Villa. Aston Villa are 15th in the Premier League. They've played 14 games like everyone else. They've won 4, drawn 3 and lost 7. So they've had an okay start, considering they're a newly promoted team. I think if you had offered them this position at the start of the season, they would have taken it. They recently just drew 2-2 at Old Trafford against Manchester United, so that's a positive result for them, considering they were 2-1 down in that game, so I'm sure they were pleased with the point. And they're going to come here and take a lot of heart from the way that West Ham played at the weekend. I think they're going to look at that game that we played on the weekend, and I think they're going to look at it and say, okay, if we just play the way West Ham did, we can most definitely get something from this game. And that's what I'm a bit worried about. I think Aston Villa are going to come, they're going to sit back, they're going to try and stifle us, they're going to try and maybe put 2 banks of 4 and just kind of shut up shop and try and get us on the counter if they have chances, because they do have players that can hurt us, the likes of Jack Grealish, Trezeguet are players that can, and if we're not careful, will punish us, because they can create something out of nothing. So we have to be on it defensively. I cannot stress enough how much we need to be on it defensively, because our defence this season has been absolutely shocking. Every game we've only kept 3 clean sheets this season, and we've played something like 21 games. I'm trying to think, 14 league games, 5 Champions League games and 2 League Cup games. So that's 21 games. 3 clean sheets is pretty embarrassing for a club of our size. So we really, really need to be on it tonight, but I do expect Aston Villa to score. I'll get into my prediction towards the end of the video. But we have to be careful, and we have to be wary of the threat that they do pose going forward. But I do think in most games that we play, especially at home against kind of lower half opposition, we will dominate the ball. We do in most games. Even the game against Manchester City, we dominate the ball. I think that was the first time ever in Pep Guardiola's reign at City that he's had less possession at home than the opposition. So we do dominate the ball, and we do tend to have a lot of possession. But we did that against West Ham and did absolutely nothing with it. That was the first game I've seen this season where we created virtually nothing despite having all the ball. So that needs to be rectified tonight. We need to be more clinical when we have the ball and try and create a bit more going forward than we did at the weekend. And to do that, we have to pick the right team now. There's a couple of changes I would make for this game. I think the team that played against West Ham was pretty poor in my opinion. I'm fully supportive of Frank. I want him to do well, and he's been fantastic since he's signed by his team selection against West Ham. was very, very poor. So I think it's crucial that he picks the right team tonight, and this is the team, as I said, that I would like to see, not the one that I necessarily think the manager will pick. So in goal, Kepa, I think that kind of speaks for itself. I had a bit of a go at him, or kind of was a bit critical of his performance against Valencia. I thought he put us under some unnecessary pressure in that game and caused a lot of panic among the defence. But he did save a penalty in that game, so I have to give him credit for that. And if it wasn't for him against West Ham on Saturday, it could have been 3 or 4, which would have been absolutely embarrassing, or even more embarrassing than it was. So he gets the voting goal, and he's our number 1 keeper, so that kind of explains itself. Right back, I would go with Reece James. I think he was one of the only players that actually played well against West Ham. He got forward well, he was putting brilliant crosses into the box and looked relatively solid defensively, despite that not being in existence this season for us. So I go with him at right back. 2 centre-backs now. Obviously Rudiger's still not fit, and I said after the Valencia game, we are in desperate need of him back. We need that experience, that muscle, that, leadership in defence, and just an old-fashioned centre-half, just to put his head on the line, put his body on the line, and just clear anything no matter what. We need him back, but we still, I think Frank said in his press conference yesterday, it would still be another week to 10 days till he's back. So he might be back for the Bournemouth game next weekend. So we'll hope, fingers crossed for that. But yeah, so he's not playing. So I would go with Tomori and Zuma. Now I know they didn't cover themselves in glory against West Ham nor Valencia, but it's our most experienced centre-back pairing this season. They've played the most games with each other, so I think they know each other well. And they're both still young players, so they will get better with age. They're going to make mistakes this season, and they have. But they've also done well for their age, and I think, as I said, they're the most experienced partnership we have this season, so I would go with them. There is the argument to bring Christensen in, but I wouldn't do it personally, so I go with Zuma and Tomori. Left back, I would bring Azpilicueta back in. Now, he was rested against West Ham. I don't really know why. I think we probably needed him, and I think the reason I'm bringing him in is because we need a bit of experience in the back line after that horror show against West Ham. So I bring Azpilicueta back in at left back. Now, in the midfield, Jorginho did not play well against West Ham. Now, he has been one of our standout players this season, so I'm not going to rip into him at all, because he has been one of our most consistent performers. But I just think he looks a bit shattered, so I would drop him, and I would put Kovacic in the, I don't want to use the Sarri term, the regista role, and I would play Kante and Mason Mount. I'd bring Mason Mount back into the starting. He didn't play, I say back in the starting lineup, he didn't start against Valencia or City, but he did start against West Ham. Didn't have a great game against West Ham, but again, he's only 20 years of age, 21, so he's going to have poor games every now and then. He can't produce fireworks every week, so we can allow him the one bad game, but hopefully he got that out of the way at the weekend, and he can put in a good performance tonight. So I go Kovacic, Kante and Mount as the 3 midfielders. Now the 3-4 players, excuse me, the 3-4 players I would go with. Now this is difficult because we don't know if Tammy Abraham is fit. I still don't know. As I said, we're just under, I'd say we're about 2.5 hours away from kick-off, something around that. And we don't know if Tammy Abraham is fit. If he is fit, I would start him. I would. Because, as I said, he's our first choice striker. He's been banging in the goals this season, and he's our best striker. Giroud played at the weekend, and we might as well have just played with 10 men. I completely forgot he was playing at some stages. He offered nothing. Batshuayi hasn't been performing ever since his winning goal against Ajax in the Champions League. He hasn't really performed. He hasn't really done much. He hasn't offered much to the team in terms of movement, goals. So Abraham is our best striker. If he is fit and able to play, I would start him. If not, I would go with Batshuayi, just because I think he offers that a little bit more than Giroud does. But if Abraham's fit, he's starting. On the left, I would go with Pulisic. Again, not his best game against West Ham, but I do feel he was very isolated. He was trying to do everything himself. Didn't really get much support from his teammates, so I think if his teammates can help him out a little bit more tonight, I would start him. And on the right, This is tough because I don't know whether to go with Willian or Hudson-Odoi, because Pedro was absolutely shocking at the weekend. Similar to Giroud, I forgot he was playing. We might as well play with 9 men. The two of them were non-existent, so Pedro's not getting anywhere near this team. I don't want to sound harsh, but he was woeful on Saturday. So it's between Willian and Hudson-Odoi. I go with Willian. Willian and Kante were left out against West Ham, and I didn't really understand it because both of them have been performing quite well. Although when Kante came on against West Ham, it was probably the worst I've seen him in a Chelsea jersey. He was that bad, which is very, very, very rare to see. But he didn't play great. But hopefully, I'm starting him this game. Hopefully, he can redeem himself and put in a good performance. But I would just edge with Willian for this game. I think the experience and he does have quality. He has played well this season. He has been fairly consistent. He wasn't particularly great when he came on. The one thing I have with Willian that drives me mad, and the one thing that drove me mad at the weekend, was we took Giroud off and Willian came on. It was in and around the same time. And Willian started putting balls into the box. Why are you putting balls into the box when our target man has been taken off? I don't get it. But that's not the main thing. The thing about Willian is he always crosses low. Why does he always cross low? Get it in the air, get it in the box, get it in the mix where there's players up to win it. Yes, Pulisic was playing as a false 9 when Giroud came off. But, he's still there. He still knows how to jump. He knows how to head it. Just give him the chance at least, rather than just go low all the time, because it just makes it easier for the defenders to clear it. And if he plays tonight, I hope to God he puts a bit of height on his crosses and gives us a chance to actually get a header or anything on it. So I've had my rant about Willian there, so I would start him this game just because I think he's been performing quite well this season. And yeah, that's the team I would like to see play tonight against Aston Villa. Prediction for this game. Now this is tough because I could easily see us doing the same thing that we did against West Ham and just turning up, expecting to win. I think that's what we did against West Ham at the weekend. I think we kind of just thought we could just turn up and win. I hope they've learned the lesson from that. I hope they've learned that you cannot just expect to win. Turn up, get 3 points, go home every game, because it's not going to happen. And to be honest, we've lost our last 2 league games, and Tottenham are only 6 points behind us. It was 12. It's now 6, so that gap is closing. We cannot let it get any less than 5, 6, because then, I will start to get a bit nervous. So we need to win this game tonight, and because of that, I think because we need to win, and because of the performance that we saw at the weekend, and hopefully the players will want to bounce back and will want to, put that behind them. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Chelsea win. I think we'll edge it. I do expect Aston Villa to score. I expect every team that we play against us to score this season, unless we sort our crap out in defence. So I will go with 2-1 Chelsea. Hopefully that's right. I don't care what the score is as long as we win tonight, to be honest. A win and a clean sheet would be excellent, but I'm not expecting a clean sheet. Hopefully we can just win the game and get back to winning ways. So anyway, guys, that's all I have to say for this video. If you did enjoy it, please drop it a like. Subscribe if you're new around here, and I will have the review for the game out very soon. So take care, guys, and come on, Chelsea. Please don't let me down like you did at the weekend.